Hey guys, this is Dave here at Pulp Alley, and I'm going to work on some bases today. I thought I'd show you how I do this. There's a couple of videos that we've done, but sometimes it's nice to go over this stuff again. We got these really cool figures from Redbox Games. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Here are these awesome figures from Redbox Games are painted up for us by Mortis005, aka Hamster of Destruction. So those I got on bases already, but these I do not have on bases just yet. And for those of you that don't know, I do these Super Inviso bases. I make them myself, and so they're not the acrylic bases. They are very thin, but still nice and sturdy, and we super glue them to their feet. So that's what we're going to do. And I would do it this way really because of the wide number of places that we typically take our figures. Now, for a fantasy setting, it's probably not that big a deal, but I do intend to use these figures possibly in a forested area, possibly in a snowy area, possibly in some interior stuff, possibly in a dungeon sort of environment. So when you're using your figures in a lot of different environments, sometimes it's nice to have them actually blend into that setting, and you can do that with Super Inviso bases. A lot of companies out there sell those acrylic bases that are kind of beefy and thick, and those work okay too, but I really prefer these that we make ourselves. And we actually have a couple of videos that show you how to make these bases. If you want to make them yourself, you can do that. So I'll show you what we use for this little process. So I got a couple of files sitting here in case I want to trim down some of the bottoms of the feet just to make sure they stick good. I got my clippers here. This is what I use to snip off the little tabs that they have on the bottom of their feet. I'm going to be just using some regular old super glue here. Well, in this case, it's Gorilla Super Glue. And then I have Instaset. Any sort of accelerator for the CA glue works good. Now, I don't particularly like the spray bottle, so I put it into a dropper bottle. So that's what we'll use in combination with the super glue. So let's just get to it. Let's just show you what we do here. So the first thing we're going to do is snip off that little tab at the bottom of their feet. So let's see if I can get this on camera where it'll actually work. So I'm going to slip it in here, and I'm just going to take it off. Now I'm going to show you the amount of time that I put into doing a base, and if you don't like this technique, or you think it's too hard, compare this to the amount of time that you put into doing bases. I'm going to file a little bit on the bottom of this foot just to make sure I have a nice clear bottom there. Here's the base that I'm going to stick them to. Put just a little bit of glue on the bottom of the feet here. Now, if I get too much, I'll just kind of dab it off on the cardboard. Let's see if I can get a little bit out here. There it comes. There's a little bit there, a little bit there. You just really don't want to get too much. That's pretty much, should have got this open already. Okay, so there's my dropper. All right, so I'm going to stick him down there. And then I'm going to hold it in place, and I'll put a drop over here on this foot, and I'll put a drop on this foot, and it is done. There we go. There we go. And that's it. So I will come back with a Q-tip or a little bit of paper towel and sop off some of that extra liquid there that's kind of pooling. But I will leave it for now. And then I'm going to go to the next figure I'm going to do is this one here. Just get a little bit of glue here. I think that's the point where it's going to have some contact in there. And again, we will put it down. It's a lot harder doing this when I have the camera in the way. It's kind of a pain in the butt. And then we'll squirt some glue in there, or some Instaset, so that it sets up. All right, let's kind of get another base off. Let's do this guy here. So that's really just a toe there touching. And then over here, we have a foot. And then I'm gonna run it over this file, just to get a little, make sure that I'm gluing metal to plastic. That's what I want to be sticking to the plastic, is actually the metal. and not just, the paint. So I'll put another base down here, put a couple little drops of glue on his feet. So I'm looking for the silver spots. Well, it also doesn't help that I'm partially blind and can barely see. I think that should be enough there. So I'm going to stick that down. Let's see, I want to hold it different though, just so for the camera so you guys can see. And hold it down. And then I'll put a drop of liquid on that one and a drop on this one. And that one's done. So this is how I do bases. Fast and easy. Now, there are folks out there that have a lot of different reasons why they don't like this technique, and nothing wrong with that. We've been doing this for probably 10 years. We've been doing this for a very long time. My daughter Mila was the one that really kind of convinced me to go ahead and do it. How much of that sound are you picking up? Okay. And because in a pulp setting, you're just going to so many different places that we had a hard time trying to figure out how to do our bases. When one game you're in a Zeppelin, and the next game you're in Africa, and the next game you're in the Himalayas, and the idea that you're gonna just put rocks or whatever on your base, it just doesn't make a lot of sense. It makes a much better setting when your bases kind of blend into wherever you are. You look at those bases over there, and you can kind of tell they just blend in really nice. And then if I move on to a interior area or something, there it is. There's that area too. If I'm going into the snow or whatever, then it blends in there. So with clear bases, no matter where you go, there you are. So that's why we do it this way. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm going to continue on with this, but only have a few more here to do. But that's it. That's the entire process. You know what? I'll go ahead and clean up those bases. Give me just a minute, and I'll show you. All right, I got my Q-tips now. Let me show you what I'm talking about here. So, just real quick, there's nothing to this at all. Most of it is going to come up pretty quick. Really nothing to grab on that one. This guy here too. And if you don't have any Q-tips laying around, you can just as easily use a paper towel to do the exact same thing. It sucks up that, or a napkin, or whatever you happen to have, your shirt, whatever you're using, And this liquid is going to dry on this base pretty dang clear. There's not a lot of issue with smoking, where you get a little bit of a fog effect on the base. There they are right there. Those bases were done yesterday, or just yesterday. And as far as as far as anything on their bases, it just blends in so nice. You really don't see any kind of fog effect on them. So these will do the exact same thing. All right, boys and girls, leave some comments down below. Make sure you hit that like button if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, get subscribed to our little channel. And if you're already a subscriber, hit the bell, and we will see you soon. Bye, everybody.